In this video, we're going to cover one of the steps in activity 125 is going to be making design edits to the square column that we have made in a previous video. So this does require you to have a completed square column in order to do this. And one thing I'll kind of draw your attention to is down here in the bottom left corner of your screen, you have something called the model history tree. So you'll actually see Fusion is keeping track of the sketches. So here's the first sketch that we made to make the circular bottom. Here's the extrusion that we did to create the solid. And then there was the second sketch to create the square. And then there's the extrusion. If you click, it'll actually highlight on any of these. So there's the sketch there where we created the circular top, extruded it, and then here's the sketch where we created the holes, and then there's the extrusion where we cut through it to be able to make that. So one thing you can always do is you can always drag this little timeline marker through as well, and you could actually go through and kind of click these arrows and go through and see kind of in real time how it goes through. You could also start from the very beginning. If I click the arrow with the little line on it, click the play button, and it'll walk through and show you the exact process that was done in order to create that. So let me go ahead and hit or you can hit the play button and it'll start from the beginning. So that's the model history tree. What I'm going to do is they want us to take away the holes that go all the way through the part. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to find that last extrusion we made. I'm going to right click on it and I'm going to say delete. Now the only thing is that it deletes the holes, but the sketch is not being shown. So let me go ahead and let's right click on the sketch and I'm going to say edit sketch. So the very last one that shows up in the model history tree. And you're going to go back into the sketch where we previously drew all of our shapes. Now one of the things we're going to have to do is they want us to revolve these shapes. So we're going to need an axis that runs all the way through in this scenario. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to choose the line tool, and then right directly in the middle, so right here at the top, you should see a little X and then a triangle symbol for the midpoint. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click to draw this line, and I'm going to draw the line all the way down until it meets the top of the next circular feature there. So now I have these different shapes, and you can see it's kind of splits this in half. Now what I can do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to delete this diameter dimension by right clicking and choosing delete. You'll see it'll turn these back to being blue, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use the little pair of scissors called the trim tool. So if you click modify, you'll find the trim tool, and I'm going to trim away the halves of these circles, and you may get a little warning that says constraints or dimensions were removed, and that's exactly what we want. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say right click and say OK. I'm then going to go ahead and click on sketch dimension again, and clicking on the top one, it's going to give a radius of 0.125, which is going to be exactly what we want. So a diameter would put that at 0.25, which is exactly what we would like to see. So arcs are dimensioned by radius, and circles are dimensioned by diameter, which is why now you're seeing a radius. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say finish the sketch. One thing, when you say that, it's not going to show up. So over here in the browser, I'm going to expand the square column, and then I'm going to see that in the sketches, I want to turn on the visibility for sketch number 4, which is the last sketch that we were creating, or the fourth sketch that you see down in your model history tree. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn this to the side a little bit, and I'm going to go ahead and choose the revolve option. Now revolve, it's looking now for profiles. So I'm going to actually click inside of the 3 half circles that I created, and then I want to choose an axis. So I'm going to hit select, and then I want to choose the middle line that runs down through the center. And what you're going to end up seeing is it's going to actually go through, and these red spheres will show up, which is showing you where it's going to cut out. Now I don't want to cut out on the outside of the shape as I turn it here to the side, so I'm going to change this to be, I only want 180 degrees to be able to turn into there. So 180. Now you'll see now it builds the solids, so it thinks we're wanting to go through and build that out. So probably what I need to do to cut this out, I need to put a negative 180. Now the direction is going to change, and now we've got the cutouts for our spheres. And I'll say OK, and then I'll go through, I'll need to hide this sketch, but that way it doesn't show up here, so I'll have to toggle the visibility back off. And I can collapse these menus, and if I click the home button, this finishes the design edits that were made to the square column, and just a little bit of kind of a preview of what it looks like to do some browser editing or use some editing with the model history tree.